17th to 18th, it is a description of Atma. And many of them are worthy of being used for both for contemplation as also for meditation. By contemplation I mean the rational and the logical thinking process. We may call it as manana, we may call it as vichara. That means that is contemplation. Finding more about it and thinking only on that. Meditation is a continuous directing of our thoughts towards that one object, not in and around it, not on its periphery, not on its circumference, straight on that very point. And that is the meditation we mean here. Meditation has got several connotations. People have translated them in various manners. So I am just telling the meditation, what we mean here is that ekagra chintana. Now, even the previous one, the 17th which we finished yesterday, we can use it for meditation as also for contemplation. Contemplation is when you are thinking, well, am I the body? Am not? Then why should I identify myself with the body? Then this Panchakosha Vicharana and all that, they are likely to become more mechanical after the first 1 or 2 days' life. Then it will become mechanical, it will lose its real effect on us. So the better way is, after that, you turn it into a meditation. Just to sit and think, yes, the Atman is one, who is everywhere, who is at all times, but we can't see. So the mind has to be pure. My mind has to be pure. It should be absolutely pure, free from ego. Ego is the main stain. It is the main stain. It is the main taint. So let me be untainted. Let me be pure. And the Atman has got nothing else. No world exists. No house exists. Nothing exists. No time. No space. And all alone is Brahman. So you use that particular poem, you can repeat with its meaning. Sada sarvagato na sarvadrava. Even that one line will do. No, the Atman is not shining anywhere because wherever the mind is impure, it cannot. Yes, my mind has to become pure. The mind has to shed its coils of this ego, this I amness. I amness represents that individual I, that I as Shantananda, I as the body and the intellect. So when that goes, it is only the universal reminder, because the consciousness I am, it is something which you cannot deny. The question is that who is that I am you are thinking? So long as you think that I am the limited I, you don't get the full benefit of it. So each one of these, 17, 18, 19 and 20 even, rather up to 19 even, these can be considered for our meditation purposes. Many of them can be used for meditation. Go on thinking of it, that's all. So now we are in the 18th. Deshendriya mano buddhi prakrtibhyo vinakshanam tadvrutte sakshinam vidyati atmanam raja sada. There is a big darbar of a king. There is a big court where the king is presiding. And how do you know that one of them is the king? You recognize him by the special, the unique way in which he is sitting. All others are seated on lower seats. The king is on a high throne and he is decked in beautiful special garments, worthy of a king. And if it was the olden days, he would be wearing a diadem or a crown like. So, these are all certain unique distinguishing features of a king. And then you will find down below his family priest sitting at one corner, his prime minister, his ministers for home, ministers for defense, ministers for education, ministers for welfare. They are all sitting at another corner. Then there are various types of courtiers, there are various types of servants. So, all the entire people, they are all in the court, but it doesn't require much of a job for you to find out who is the king. The king is distributing himself because he is separate from all these people. From the way in which sitting you can find out that easily his splendor is the biggest. Similarly here, Dekhendriya mano buddhi prakrtibhyo vilakshanam. See, again the point is, the Atman has to be separated from the body-mind complex. That is the main thing, that is the ultimate thing to go, it won't leave you. At any time, even after a lot of sadhana, the I comes as I, Swami Shantananda, I as the individual. You can never forget the individual, and the individual means the individual possessed with this particular type of body and this particular type of features. The facial and the bodily structure, and him you call the individual. You cannot forget it. But the day you forget it, take it, we have almost reached the universal. When the individual is lost, then where will I be? I will be only the universal, that's all. Where could I go? There are only two places. So he says, this Atman is something unique and it is distinct. Vilakshana. Vilakshana means it doesn't contain any of the characteristics which are for others. Lakshana means characteristic. In Tamil also we ask, adike enna lakshanam, ilakkanam we call it. Lakshanam means that which describes, that which points out. Laksha to see, to make you see. So to make you see a certain thing, you are pointing out in the characteristics. Look here, this is square, this is round, this is blue. Then the man's attention is concentrated on that. That is called a lakshan. So now, this Atman is something whose characteristic or lakshana is different from all the lakshanas of Deha, Indriya, Mana, Buddhi. It has got no characteristic which is common to the body. It has no characteristic which is common to the mind. It has no characteristic which is common to the intellect. It is absolutely distinct from them. So, Vilakshana we may, in the loose way, we call it as distinct. But as I said, it comes from the term Lakshana, Vilakshana, Vikataha Lakshana. It doesn't have any of those Lakshanas. They are all gone. It has no such characteristics. It is something unique by itself. So, this Atman is different from the body, different from all the senses. It is different from the eye, it is different from the ear, it is different from the tongue, it is different from the mind, it is different from the intellect, because we have already analyzed the Panchakocha, all these things, so we did not repeat how to eliminate them. You know how to eliminate them. Then, Prakriti-bhyo vilakshanam. Here the word Prakriti-bhyo can be interpreted in more than one way. The first one is Prakriti means the nature, the Swabhava. So you can say the nature of the body, the nature of the mind, they are all absolutely different from the nature of the Atma. So Prakriti-bhya. Then Prakriti also means that power of ajnana, that power of maya, by which all this illusion of the world has been created. So, that the beginningless ignorance, that can be considered as avidya. Because that also is making a show, the mind. It says, I do not know. So I do not know is because of Maya. But when I say I do not know, it is a knowledge. It is part of a knowledge. It is not knowledge to say I do not know. So, and here is an analogy of a king sitting in his darbar, and is distinguished from all the other courtiers, the ministers and other people. So if you apply this term Prakriti Viha, Prakriti also means the ministers and the subjects, Praja, minister, Mantri, they are all called a Prakriti. There is also a meaning in Prakriti. So the word Prakriti has got several meanings. Each meaning can be given here. You can say that Atman is different. Its nature happens to be something unique and distinct from that of, from the nature of the body, etc. Or you can say it is something different from Prakriti or the avidya. This Prakriti means that is the basic form of the avidya. What is the basic form of avidya is as formless as the Brahman. It is after all this power. So can you see the burning power of the fire separately? The burning power is already contained inside the fire. You can't see it separately. So it is something which is formless. So that Prakriti is called Avyakta. And this Prakriti is made up of the three constituent qualities or modes which are known as Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna. There is the inertia, the dynamism and the light and harmony. So it is made up of all these three. And so long as these three happen to be in equal proportion, that Prakriti is not seen and you don't see any activities of the Prakriti, that is perhaps the pre-creation stage when all activities are still. But by the power of the Lord or by the will of the Lord, something happens and suddenly there is a turbulence in the Prakriti. In the turbulence, what happens is, suddenly you find that one of the three qualities has become more prominent, the rest has come down. And at that stage of imbalance, this world is created. So this world is a product of imbalance. The way to get out of it is to get into the balance. That is the only way. So this is how the world has been created by Prakriti. And because these three qualities which it can lend to the world, which puts into the constitution, that also differs from person to person. There is a lack of difference in the various proportions. Say one may have 1% of Sattva, 98% of Rajoguna and 1% of Tamoguna. Like that you go on putting it 2%, 80%, the balance, or 70%, 28%, 2%. You can put the permutations and combinations can go into the as many millions as there are human beings. And that is how this world containing different types of men, the different types of animals. So all the varieties have been created because of the varieties of the proportions of these three qualities which are the basic inhering modes of Prakriti or nature. So this Brahman is different from the Prakriti because the Prakriti is part of this Atman only. It is part of the power of the Atman. So the burning power of fire, you cannot say it is the same as fire. Fire is the totality. Out of that totality you are trying to, by imagination, separate a portion of its power alone, which forms only an infinitesimal part of the totality. So, this is something which is distinct and different from nature. It is also different from Prakriti means the nature of Deha, Indriya, the Swabhava of the body, the mind, etc. It is something different from them all. But then, what does it do? What is its relationship with this Deha, Indriya and this mind and intellect? Tadvritti sakshitam vidyati. So know, vidya means know, understand that this is the witness of all the activities of all these things. I am going to the dining hall for taking my tea. Who is going? Not I. My feet are taking me to the dining hall. My hand is contacting the cup, putting the tea into my mouth, and my mouth, it gulps it down and puts it further into the gullet. Now, they are all being done by the respective indriyas, but when I say, yes, I went and I had my tea. So the Atman is actually attributing it, but the Atman was only consciousness. So it is a witness. It witnessed all these processes. It was conscious of the feet taking me to the dining hall. It was conscious of my hand contacting the plate and putting it in the mouth. So it was consciousness. It was a witness to all the activities of my indriyas. Similarly, I am just thinking. I think, oh, this is a new fan. So this thought is known to me. I am the seer of the thought. So I am the witness to the action of my mind. So I am the witness to the action of my body. Whatever my body suffers, whatever good and bad it gets, I understand it. So I am the witness. The Atman is the highest witness. It is consciousness by itself. And it is only an infinitesimal part of the consciousness which goes and works as buddhi, as mind and all that. So even when there is no mind, if you are in the state of no mind, then what happens is you are in spontaneous contact with everything because you have become all. You are that Atman who is all consciousness. That is why at that stage the Atman is called as Yes Sarvajyaha, Yes Sarvavid, Yes Tapomayam Shariram, Yes Jnanamayam Tapaha. So that is the stage when you have become the knower of all. Because there is nothing in between. The mind is only a reaction. It is not spontaneous action. While when a jnani talks, when Bhagavan talks, he doesn't ferret it out from the archives of his memory. It comes straight because he knows all. He has no mind. He doesn't use his mind at all. It is a spontaneous outburst from the infinite power of the Atman, which is all knowledge and nothing else. So, Tadvritti Sakshinam. Vritti means the activities. So, Sakshi means the one who is a witness. What is the difference between a participant and a witness? Participant, he is a player in the field. He plays himself. While a Sakshi as a witness is in the audience. He cannot get into the ground, he cannot touch the ball. He'll be beaten black and blue if he tries to interfere with the play which is going on. He has no business. So that which sees, that which is conscious of that thing, that which doesn't criticize it either way, this is good or this is bad, which is just seeing, which is all pure consciousness. In pure consciousness, there is no criticism. There is no question of saying this is good or this is bad. Absolutely none. It is just consciousness, being aware. It is just an awareness. Tadvritti sakshinam vidyati atmanam rajavat sada. So here he gives the analogy of a king, a raja. Raja means a king. So a king is along with his prakriti. Prakriti means the ministers, the representatives of the public, the courtiers, the attendants, the servants, the priests, and whoever is present in the assembly, in the audience, they are all called the Prakriti. And he is definitely, who is somebody not only who is listening, he is watching what his commander-in-chief is doing, what his minister is doing, what the minister is talking. So he is watching the entire thing. He is the witness of all that goes. He is the witness of the activities of all the courtiers who are sitting there. In the same way, the Atman is not a participant in the activities of these buddhis, but it is a sakshi. It is only a witness. But then, the disciple who is hearing this is not satisfied. He says, look here, how do you say that? We are very much seeing, we always say that I have eaten. If I don't eat, then I feel hungry, I feel the appetite, I presume it should be the Atman only. So the Atman is very much part of the activities. It may be different, that is a different issue, but obviously it does take part in my seeing, in my talking, in my walking. So it is there in everywhere. So all the activities, I am afraid, it is also a participant. How do you say it is separate? It only looks at it, it is only a witness. Can you just explain? Then how then it looks as if the Atman is doing everything? We don't find that Atman is sitting separately. We always say that I am eating. While you are eating with your entirety. You don't find that somebody who is sitting aside and seeing you eating. So I can't see the Atman sitting separately there. So the Atman should definitely be a participant in the game. Now, in the other shloka, he is answering this question. No sir, you are mistaken. It is only an error of illusion, that's all. It looks so. How does it look so? You see the moon in the evening, and you find there are a number of clouds which are coming and going. They are all spreading everywhere. Sometimes when the cloud goes and marks the moon slowly, so you think, a child thinks, so see, look here, the moon, they call it Chandamama, the uncle moon. So the uncle moon is playing hide and seek. Look here, he has gone into that and he is hiding himself in that. So it looks as if the moon has gone into the cloud. The moon has not moved from its place at all. It is the cloud which has clouded your vision, and it looks as if the moon has gone into it while the moon is doing nothing. So a moon which does nothing, you see an activity into it, the activity of going and hiding himself among those clouds, among those passing clouds. So this is an example where something which doesn't move, it looks as if it is moving and it is doing some activity. In a similar way, this is what is happening. Vyapriteshvindriyeshvatma vyapari va vivekinam drishyate abhreshu davatsu dhavanniva yatha sachi. Vyapriteshu indriyeshu. Vyaprita means that which is engaged in the various activities. Activity, we call it as vyapara. Vyapara means any activity you do, any engagement you take up, any involvement, that is called vyapara. So, vyaprita is the past participle, which means while the indriyas are being engaged in the respective activities, the eye is seeing, the tongue is talking, the ear is hearing. So they are all doing their respective jobs. Then what happens? Atma looks at as if it is that Atma which is doing all these things. Vyapari iva. Vyapari here means the one who does the vyapara. That is, the one who is doing these activities. Even though the indriyas are active, it looks that as if it is the Atman who is active. When the indriyas are engaged in the respective activities, it looks it is the Atman who is actually engaged in the activity and he is doing that various activities. To whom does he look like that? Not to the wise man, not to the thinker, not to the one who contemplates on this, but to Avivekinam. Avivekinam, a man who lacks discrimination, a man who is not able to go deep into the matter, who takes things as he sees, who doesn't go deeper into the matter to find out the truth. So he is called Aviveki, the one who is unable to discern, who lacks in discernment and discrimination. So in respect of them, it looks as if Vyapari giver. It looks as if the Atma, he is the actor, he is the agent who is doing all these activities. How is it? Yatha Shachi Dhavatsu Abhreshu Dhavaniva Drishyate. Just like Shachi means the moon. Just as the moon is seen as if it is running. Dhavan Iva. Iva means as if. When does it look as if it is running? Dhavatsu Abhreshu. Abhra means Megha, the clouds. When the clouds are running, Dhavatsu Abhreshu. While the clouds are running, they are all going in a speed, they are all spreading all around, and they are going and then they are covering up the moon. It looks as if the moon is coming towards the clouds and entering into them as if he is running into the clouds. It is the clouds which run into him, while it looks as if the moon is running into the clouds, so as if the moon is moving, actually he doesn't move. Yatha Shachi Dhavan Nivadrishyate. Just as the moon is seeing that as if he is moving, when Dhavatsu Abhreshu, while the cloud is moving, it is just an illusion. So as such, my dear sir, Atman is inactive. Atman doesn't do any action. It is the mind, it is the body-mind complex, and it is your intellect. It is these complexes which are doing the respective jobs, and the only thing which your Atman is doing is, it is just a consciousness. It is aware of all the activities of the various indriyas, the senses, the body, etc. Now we go to the next one. Atma Chaitanyam Ashritya Dekhendriya Manodhiyaham Swakriyartheshu Vartante Surya Lokam Yatha Jana. The word is Surya Lokam. You add one, you increase it the dirgha. It should be Surya Lokam. It is not Surya Lokam, it is Surya Alokam. So it becomes Surya Alokam. Aloka means the light, the shining light, that is called Aloka. Atma Chaitanya Ashritya Ekhendriya Manodhyaha. He says, my dear sir, this body, mind and intellect, they do not work by themselves. They cannot. Nor are they activated in that sense by the Atman, but in the presence of the Atman only they work. If the Atman is not there, they won't work at all. It is just like supposing for a couple of days, the sun never comes out at all. It is all remaining dark all the 24 hours. we be able to go to the office? Will we be able to do the respective work, whatever we are doing? Somebody is learning music, somebody is reading a book. Will we be able to continue those activities at all? No. Early morning, the sun rays are beautifully coming in, everybody gets up, the alarm is set, oh my Lord, the sun has come up, one is just rushing to catch the train for his office which is 30 kilometers off, and the housewife is rushing to the hearth to prepare the well-needed coffee and to prepare the children for the school. Thus the entire world, it rushes into the various activities by themselves. The sun doesn't go and tell everybody separately, my dear sir, it is time for your office, my dear madam, it is time for you preparing the coffee. No, it does nothing. But in its very presence, the entire world becomes active. So the entire activity, the responsibility for it or the ultimate responsibility for it goes to the sun. But the sun does nothing by itself. Its very presence, we call it as sanidhya, its very presence. So its very presence is sufficient for the various indriyas to become active. He says, Deha indriya manodhyaha. The body, the indriya means the senses, manaha means the mind, the dhiyaha is the plural. That means the various intellects. Your intellect, my intellect, his intellect, his intellect, his intellect. So there are various bodies, there are various minds, there are various intellects. Means in the respective objects of that activity. That is in the respective activity. The body is moving for the bathroom and the eyes are looking for the soap and the ear is hearing the MS Suprabhatam which is coming from the tape recorder which you are keeping inside your bathroom. Thus, the various indriyas and this body, etc., they are all being engaged in their respective activities. Swakriyartheshu vartante. How? Based on what? What makes them do it? What makes them function? What is it that activates them at the respective time? Atma Chaitanya Ashritya. The base, the foundation, the activating motive power, it is the self-consciousness, the consciousness of the self, the supreme consciousness which is in the Atman. The Atma Chaitanyam Ashritya. Ashraya means a support, a base, a refuge. So, based on Ashritya means based on Atma Chaitanya. Chaitanya represents that consciousness. Again, let us recollect what is consciousness. We should not forget it at all times. That I amness is the consciousness. That I am. I am. So that amness is the consciousness. Whoever is aware that he exists. So, that is called the Chaitanya. And it is this Chaitanya which can make you active. This has no Chaitanya, this is absolutely remaining by itself. This is Jada. But a Jada Vastu can be activated by the power of another Chaitanya. The example given is a chariot. A chariot cannot move by itself. It requires a Chaitanya called a horse. So it is the horse when it is put to it, then it can draw the chariot and a charioteer will be there to direct the movements. So, any Jada Vastu, anything which is insentient, which doesn't have that I consciousness, that I am consciousness, they will all be driven to their activities only through the presence of a Chaitanya, the presence of a consciousness. So here, It is only based on the self-consciousness that all these things like the body, intellect, they all begin to work. So kriyarteshu vartante, they are all engaged in their respective activities. And he is explaining it by the analogy of the people getting up and doing their respective jobs automatically at the rising of the sun. Surya lokam yatha janaha. Surya lokam vartante. Vartante here means they follow. Following the light of the sun, janaha sukriyarteshu vartante. Here you have to add a word, ashritya. The word ashritya comes in the first. It can be used in both the places. It is to be used in the simile, it is to be used in that which is used for the simile. We call it drishtanta and dashtanta. Drishtanta means the simile. If I say, Mr. Ramchandra is like a lion, then the lion is called the simile or the drishtanta, while that other person who is compared, we call him the dashtanta. And sorry, I don't think that there are equivalent words to explain it in English. The one which is used for the simile purposes, that is called the dashtanta. So here, in both the word ashritya comes. There, based on the consciousness, they get optimistic. Here, surya lokam ashritya, based on the light of the sun, based on that light emanating from the sun and the rising of the sun, the people are all engaged in their respective activities. Swakriyarteshu vartante. So the swakriyarteshu vartante and ashritya is to be used both in the simile as well as in its counterpart, which is called the dashtanta. Now, we come to the next one. Dekhendriya gunan karman yamale satchidatmani adhyasyanti avivekena gagane nilatadivat. Now, the question he is asking is, sir, please tell me one thing very clearly. You say the Atman is quite distinct from the body, mind, intellect and these complexes. Right? At the same time you say that they all were at the instigation of the Atman. Not at any real instigation, at the very presence. The presence itself instigates them into activities automatically, not that they do anything at all. And secondly, in the previous verse, one should know, Atman remains untainted, it remains unconcerned as to what the body does, what the Indriya does. Now, the sun is there. So underneath the sun, a chap might be committing a murder, while another chap will be building a temple, a third chap will be doing worship in the shrine of Ramana. Now, the sunlight is not responsible at all, it is just a witness, each one does whatever he wants, he will get punished, everything will happen, it is an automatic karmic law and a karmic control, and Atman doesn't interfere in any of these things. Whenever something happens, we call the Atman and say, God, he will say, oh God, what have you done for me? And when we were in affluence, we never asked the Lord even one day, oh Lord, what all you have done for me? We never did. But on the day we get into the calamity, we call the Lord to account. Oh Lord, I have never done anything in this world. I have never done a single wrong thing. Why are you giving this calamity to me? Why me? So here the question is, which the disciple is puzzled about, please tell me, is the Atman separate from this Deha Indriya? If you say, yes, they are separate, then your Advaita is lost, then whatever seems that there is only one Supreme Consciousness, we don't believe in it, then there are two things. Then on the one side is what is called the body-mind complex and all that, and on the other hand, there is what we call the Supreme Soul, then there are two things. Then how do you say that there is only one? And if both are realities, your reality can never disappear, the world can never disappear, your body can never disappear, your senses cannot disappear, all your qualities, your vices, your sins, your habits, nothing will disappear. You cannot become a jnani. My ajnan will remain, my ignorance will be a permanent entity. Alright. If you were to say that both are one, if you were to say that it is not, it is both are the same, then the qualities of the one should come to the other. That means my body, it is subject to death. That means the Atman has to die one day. Then why did you say that the Atman cannot die? That the Atman is immortal. So that becomes the untruth. So if you say it is separate, then also it doesn't look logical. If you say that both are one, then also, it results in a catastrophe. You are unable to fit it in your logic. So both seem to contradict the thing. Then what is the truth? Tell us, is it separate from the Atman or is it one with the Atman? Both answers will seem to be wrong. If you say it is one with the one, that all its changes will come to this, the body is subject to change, then the Atman should be changing, the Atman should become old. So you will have a young consciousness, you will have an old consciousness, you will have a senile consciousness. How is it possible? Senility, old age, these are all the dharmas of the body, these are all the characters of the body. How can they inherit this Atman? That is his question. For that he is answering here, Dekhendrija gunan karman amale satchit atmani adhyasyanti avivekena. Now he comes to the theory of adhyasa. Adhyasa means the superimposition. The superimposition means an illusion. And the standard example of the illusion is seeing the serpent on an innocent string, a rope which is lying on the road at the dusk when there is less of electricity. And it is a simple illusion caused by some ignorance. The questions have been asked by various people. The other day somebody from the audience also happened to come and ask me, how does this illusion take place? Why is all this Maya should cloud and then it should give the figure of a serpent? The point is, how it comes, each one has got his own case. We have got the 6 systems of philosophy. There are 6 systems which are called the orthodox systems, which admit the authority of the Vedas, based on the scriptures. They are Sankhya, Yoga, then what is called Tarka or Nyaya, and what is called the atomic theory, called Vaisheshika. Then lastly, Purushottamanada, Uttar. Apart from this, there are unorthodox philosophies, unorthodox in the sense which do not come within the gamut of the authority of the Vedas, and they are Jainism, Buddhism, Charvakism, and like that perhaps. So, each one gives his own, and this concept which tries to explain how the illusion came. Is it because I have seen a serpent earlier, and because of certain similarities between the rope and the string, at that time my memory was brought forth the idea of a serpent. Is it so? A man who has never seen a serpent, is he likely to see something frightening there on a rope or not? So like this, these various questions have been raised, And there are various answers. Somebody says it already exists in your memory, a serpent exists in your memory, and that is why you are able to see, and it is called Satkhyati. These various concepts are described by the common term in Vedanta called a Khyati-vada. Khyati. Khyati is a special term explaining how the Maya has come into play. So they say it already existed. Sati means existence. So it is called Satyati. The other one says not at all. Just at that moment from somewhere that flash came, you immediately thought it is there. It is just a sudden flash. It has nothing to do with your memory. You didn't go operate a computer and ask, please tell me what it is, and then it said it is serpent. No, not at all. It just came as a flash in no moment. And the theory advocated by the Advaitin, the non-dualists, it is called Anirvachaniya Khyati. Look here, how the Maya came we cannot say. The Maya has somehow came, we are all patients. Let us treat the patient first, let us find out the Maya later. How we came and why it came we do not know. See the symptoms and give a symptomatic treatment and let this go. That is the only way. Then later on we will find out how it came, whether it was already existing and all that. So we believe in Anirvachaniya Khyati, that is something which is inexplicable. You do not know how the illusion came, that's all. So here he is going to say, the Satchidatman, the Atman, he has got only two characteristics. Well, the third characteristic is the consequence of the two. Rather, I would say he has got only one characteristic. The characteristic is the self-awareness that is I am. That's all. That I am includes two factors. One is Sat, that is existence and amness. And you are aware of it. You are conscious of it. So that consciousness, that awareness, because of which you knew that existence, that is called the Chit. So you are only awareness of existence. You are aware of your existence. That is God. So Satchidatmani, Atman has got only these two qualities which we can say is that is isness, is existence and is conscious. So it is pure. It has nothing else. Nothing can adhere to it at all. But Dehendriya Gunani Karmani Amale Satchidatmani. So happiness and unhappiness, joy and sorrows, nobody in the world can give you, only you can give it to yourself.